I am ready. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Dash, how you doing?
I'm hanging all right, man. Little drama tonight, man.
Always,
That
always.
take a while to get going, but seriously, a guy like Parks Harbor, though. I mean, the time you've worked with him now, just what it is about him as a hitter is just number one because he's obviously a little more advanced. Him and Corey both, I guess, than your typical freshman.
Yeah, and like I said before, both you can put Corey and Parks in the same boat. And obviously, one's right, one's left, but you don't find too many freshmen that have a feel for hitting
Yeah.
and have that kind of power, and can control the bat and handle a bunch of different pitches and be that tough in and out. And for me, I thought it was huge, to see him not have a bad day, but just not his best day up until that point, and still be able to. I think it's just so big in his growth to struggle a little bit during the game and still be up there, be able to put his best swing on it in that situation.
I was going. That kind of leads up to my next question. To have a guy come through, especially a freshman, in that kind of a situation, what that can do for a kid if he you know funnels that the right way, moving forward for what it can eventually do for this team.
Yeah. We need Parks Harbor to be a presence in the middle lineup, I think, for sure. And when Corey comes back, having him going and having those two guys somewhere in the middle is huge for us.
Speaking of Corey, kind of where is he right now?
He's coming along. He's coming along.
Yeah.
I think he'll be able to play this weekend. At what point, I'm not sure, and I don't think he'll be 100%, but I think he'll be good enough to play.
And a little bit about the pitching. I mean, you obviously had a lot of guys go out there today, but Nolan Crisp, I know, got the win. He really seemed to kind of turn it around here the last 2 or 3 outings.
Yeah, that was the plan, to use a lot of guys and try to keep everybody ready for Friday night, and the weekend. And Ben Harris, Will Pearson, Michael Polk, Liam Sullivan, I threw well. Hank Bearden, Luke Wagner, all those guys threw well. And Nolan, especially, like you said, he's really kind of turned a corner these last couple of weeks. He's out there pitching with confidence. His stuff looks good. We feel really good with him on the mound. He throws strikes, he attacks, he works fast. There's a lot to like from Nolan.
And I'm sorry, I do have one more question. Just as far as the lineup you used today, just trying to jumpstart things, and just wanted to see guys in different spots. I mean, what was the reason behind that this afternoon?
Yeah, wanted to see guys in different spots. Obviously Ben's not is off to a slow start, so want to get someone at the top that got on base a little bit more, and want to try Shane in the 2 against the left-hander because he's been so good against left-handed pitching this year. He's had really good at bats. He tried to do a little too much today, but I like those 2 guys getting on base. And then I kind of like Cole Tate moving down to the 5, and we might move him back to the 2. But Cole's really good with guys on base. He's really good driving guys in. So I want to give him more opportunities with guys on base to have big at bats.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, Dash.
Next, we're going to go to Jed May.
Hey, Jed.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned that Parks has that feel for hitting that's so rare in a freshman. Was there a time, maybe a specific, I don't know, moment, practice, session, whatever, in the fall where you really noticed that this kid, he's not your typical freshman up there at the plate?
It's more the conversations we have. He likes to talk things through, and he sees some things that maybe young guys don't, and he's able to look for certain pitches. He has a feel for, hey, this guy's going to attack me this way, and he didn't always execute, as freshmen do. But a lot of the conversation was, hey, I was looking breaking ball right there, and I'm like, yeah, right on. That's the right idea, but maybe he chased one down. So he was halfway there. He's looking for the right pitch, but just didn't execute. And as he kept having at bats, then all of a sudden now he is looking at the right pitch and executing, and he just keeps growing as a hitter. But I think he thinks through his at bats a little better than probably most young hitters.
And tonight, I think, was his 7th straight start over there at third base. Just how impressive has he been in, I guess, getting that opportunity and running with it?
Yeah, he played in the first game of the year and got hurt sliding, and so unfortunately we weren't able to get him in. And then once we did, we were hoping to run him out there a few times and kind of see how he'd do. And all he's done is make every play and have a lot of big at bats for us.
Okay, next from now we're going to go to Davis Baker.
Hey, Coach. 2-part question here. I want to ask you, 1, what you thought of the pitching performance as a whole, and 2, how important it was for a lot of those true freshmen who struggled against Tennessee to kind of bounce back and get their confidence going again.
I thought our guys did a great job. I mean, obviously they kept us in it when we had absolutely nothing going offensively. So you have to give those guys a lot of credit. And as you said, those guys they just need to have some success, especially after maybe having a rough weekend or things didn't go their way. Going out there and finding some success. Sometimes that's all people need is for a ball to find a glove one time, and then they're able to take a deep breath and be the guy that they always are.
Okay, next we're going to go to Tori Heck.
Hey, Coach, what are you saying to the guys when you guys are headed into the bottom of that 10th and you're trying to win it right there? What do you kind of say to the dugout when the guys headed up to the plate?
Parks hit a homer. I think the biggest thing from these guys is just to go up there and make sure they keep everything in perspective, and that their job isn't to win the game. Their job is to go up there, get a good pitch, and put a good swing on it. All I try to tell the guys is, hey, just you need to have a good at bat. You put some good at bats together. If we were able to put 2 or 3 good at bats together, then we'll get something going. I think you get in trouble when guys try to do too much, and I think that's kind of what happened today with us as a whole. And you have to give Kennedy a lot of credit. He was doing a lot of things. He's using both sides of the plate and mixing pitches. But I think a lot of it was we fell behind again. You go a couple innings without scoring and guys start pressing. And, I think they want to be the ones that come through to help us turn it around and score some runs. I think sometimes that ends up being, working against us and being a negative thing where they're trying too hard. Now you're swinging at bad pitches and being too aggressive and getting too big with your swing.
And so what's a strategy to kind of keep everyone calm and keep them from swinging for the fences when they don't need to be?
Well, you try to grab some guys in the dugout, and obviously I'm on the field while we're hitting, but in that time before we go out there, every once in a while for guys that are really pressing, you just try to grab them and just remind them to breathe and slow down. And hey, all we're trying to do is stay short and hit a line drive. In reality, it comes down to them, and whether they're able to do that or not. And it's a lot easier said than done.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, next we're going to go to Catherine Lewis.
Hey, Coach. So Parks is obviously the star of the night, but Riley King had another multiple hit game. So what can you say about his performance tonight and his contribution to the team this season?
Yeah, really proud of Riley. Obviously Riley got off to a slow start last year, numbers wise. I thought he was swinging the bat really well. In fact, I think he's swinging the bat as well as anybody we had, but his numbers just didn't show it last year. And this year again, off to a little bit of a slow start, and he just keeps working. He's one of the hardest workers on our team. He just keeps believing, and he keeps getting better and better. And he's got a lot of big hits lately, and we couldn't be more proud of Riley King.
Okay, we have time for one more question with Coach. Anyone want to step in here and take it? I see
Hey,
Dasher,
Coach,
you're ready.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick, Coach. Coming back to Parks a little bit, as his hitting coach, I mean, what sort of things have you worked with him, I guess, since it's fall ball? Kind of little reminders you've kind of given him to kind of make sure he's able to have the successes he's had.
Dash, I wish I could take credit for Parks Harbor, but he was a really good hitter when he showed up. The stuff he already did well was stuff you couldn't teach. He has a good path. His bat's in his zone a long time.
Yeah.
All the stuff we talked about feel and thinking through it. That's stuff that's really hard to teach. The only thing that we worked on was just timing, just kind of his setup and his stance, and timing, and that's it. Everything else is was all set in stone. And when he showed up.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, Dash, appreciate it.
That's all, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Abby.